Hey everyone, today we have 2 large containers of cheese balls made by Planters. These I believe are from the early 1990s. It's possible they're a bit newer, but the reason I believe they're from the early 1990s is because back then putting a Best By date wasn't required, and I've been looking these things over in here for a while, and there's a possible date code that says 3026X, but it's really unusual that there's no actual date other than a code. So I'm guessing it's before 1993 when that was actually required by law. So we have one that's in much better shape, and we have one that's in worse shape. We're going to open the one in worse shape today, and we're going to preserve this one that's full on our shelves, and maybe we can open it in the future when it's older, or who knows what I might end up doing with the stuff in the future. So these were purchased by somebody at a store called Osco. Now, Osco no longer sells things like this. Osco used to be a pharmacy store like a Walgreens or like a CVS or a Rite Aid, but they were bought out in 2006 by a couple of different companies. A lot of their locations became CVS's, and you can still find this in a lot of grocery stores up north. I know the grocery store CHEEZ has an Osco pharmacy inside it, but any products you find around the building are not going to have Osco tags anymore. So that means these are definitely older than 2006, but I think that they're from the 90s. These containers are very sticky and waxy, and I'll give everyone a close-up look before we look inside. But I think they're going to be kind of gross because they sound moist. In this one, they might even be stuck together, but they are definitely stale. I bet they're going to be chewy instead of crunchy if we give them a taste test.
So just because I can't find a date on there makes me think it's from the early 90s, but just because of the tag it's showing on there, they're definitely older than 2006. And you see they were from the discount shelf. Look at that. Original price $1, discounted for 79 cents. These days you want something like this, you're probably going to pay a couple of dollars. Cheese balls, you can buy them in those massive plastic jars, and they're like 10 bucks, 12 bucks, something like that. These would probably go for a couple bucks these days. Definitely not $1 anymore. So this type of container is likely lined on the inside with Mylar to help protect it, but this is ultimately paper, and just by dropping it you can easily damage the Mylar on the inside. And the outside has a protective wax to make them a little bit more resistant to any moisture going in or out. But at this point, they have definitely failed. We've opened products in the past that have been sometimes absolutely okay. These are old vending machine cans. This is so you could reuse a soda machine to sell snacks, and you wouldn't have to buy a whole new machine. But we've opened things with similar waxy Mylar containers, and it's almost always bad. I don't think I've opened anything that actually tasted 100% okay. So we will look at the newer one, but we're not going to be opening the newer one. So here's the tags. And I realized when I was looking for a date, I was pulling this stuff open. There's like crumbs on the inside of it, so maybe someone had this off when they had it all over their fingers. Maybe it happened in the factory, but I'm just not realizing how it got in there. There's like crumbs of it. And that bright cheese color definitely didn't fade over the years either. So I'm going to give you a close-up look in case anyone would like to pause it, read anything, making sure everything quickly focuses in case anybody wants to read it for any reason on this vintage container. And yeah, even these days, 2005 is technically considered vintage now. The definition of vintage is older than 20. Some people will tell you 50, but some people also consider 50 as antique. Some people consider 100 as antique. All depends who you ask. Now this one's a bit faded. That's why I'm not going to put it in my display. We're going to open this one up today. But they must have been purchased at the exact same time. Why one is in worse shape, I really don't know. Maybe this one's faded because it had more sun exposure. But at the same time, it's all dented, scuffed up. Don't know why. But let's get it open. Highly doubt there's going to be any pressure in this sort of container. All right, everyone. Time to open it on up. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's nothing. They visually look decent, but they're too light in color. You can tell moisture's got to them. Give it a big sniff. Oh, no, no, no. All I can smell is the waxiness. It smells like a CHEEZ scented candle. It's very waxy in there and very rancid. This went bad. Even though the inside is still shiny, the Mylar, it got through. This is not airtight. That's absolutely disgusting. And I can tell you right now, I am not going to taste this. Absolutely not. But it might be flammable. Let's go outside to throw it in the fire pit. At the date of making this video, it is April 14th, 2025. A lot of my videos I make in advance. The snow just melted. It's actually a pretty nice day. All the frogs just came out of hibernation. We have hundreds of frogs around the property now in the pond. That's pretty cool. Today I just pulled out of all the maple trees. Some of them stopped completely producing sap. Some of them have drastically slowed down, so I'm currently boiling and making maple syrup at the moment. I probably have to do that for 2 or 3 more days to boil down everything I've collected. And we're done for the season. All right, let's go outside and we'll put this one on the shelf in here. When we get back in, we'll have to find it somewhere. Well, look at all the empty buckets. The ones with the cover still on are full of syrup. I mean sap that's about to become syrup. We've probably condensed already 15 gallons today, and oh man, it's already that season. It looks like a mosquito went in there, and that's not even that hot. We ran out of propane a while ago. Haven't been out here in about an hour to check on it. So we got one more full tank. When I'm done filming this video, I gotta go have some of these refilled. I got a guy that fills them for 13 bucks, which is the best deal I've been able to find. But because he's a good deal, half of the time he's out of fuel, so I gotta call. So now that we don't have the maple trees tapped anymore, well, another big reason, I probably could have kept tapping certain ones for a few more weeks because the ones deeper in the woods that had snowpack on the ground longer, they'll produce longer because they're a little bit behind of the ones in the open yard where the warmth was able to get them started faster. But we probably have another day of doing this at least. And this time of year, most nights aren't going below freezing. That's telling the trees it's time to start growing leaves. They have stopped producing sap. Also, because there's no frost at night, these buckets will tend to grow algae in them if you're not emptying them every day or every other day. And you're going to get more bugs in there now with it not going below freezing at night. Yeah, it's the time of year it's time to give up. So I pulled out of all the trees, and we should wrap this up tomorrow. Tonight we'll probably make another 6 or 8 mason jars full of syrup. Tomorrow, maybe only a couple. All right, everyone, we got that going again. All right, everyone, here's a few boxes. Hopefully that'll help it burn. I don't know if I'll be able to catch them on fire. A lot of chips and products like this are extremely flammable because of the grease, but because, ooh, my Crocs are the same color, but because they got moisture, I don't think they're gonna burn well. These are gross. An animal I don't think would even touch this. Are they gonna burn? It's trying. It smells like burnt toast, but I don't think they're flammable anymore, so. Last year when I was bleeding out the generator after changing fuel filters, we got a little bit of bad fuel we can throw on it. That should do it. I hope it doesn't blow out. I think that's caught now. Nice. Let's go bring this back in the house. We'll let that burn for a little bit. I'll zoom you in from a safe distance so it doesn't overheat the camera, but I don't think this fire is going to get very big. Wow, look at the cheese balls now. They're shriveling up. They got so tiny. Wow, despite being in the fire a while, they're not really changing anymore. They just kind of crisped up into tiny little balls. And look at the couple around there that avoided getting burned. Bet you no animal's gonna eat that. They're very, very disgusting. We'll let this go a little bit. When this is completely burned out, I want to see if they're still existing and recognizable, because that's amazing they're not falling apart. I was able to grab the box and prop it up so oxygen could get underneath, and it really, really took off. Wow, good thing I walked over here and it's about to boil over. Gotta turn it down a little bit. Caught that just in time. Maybe a little more. As it gets more concentrated, it'll foam up a bit more. Supposedly you can put a couple drops of milk or lard in there, it'll help calm the suds down, but I've yet to try that. Alright, it's just about out. The only thing burning now is a chunk of wood that was already in the fireplace. So it started off looking like that. That actually may have shrunk a little bit too. And it turned into that. Look at that. Turned into this char.
Alright everyone, we're back from outside. And I think we're going to put these up next to our turkey. Alright everyone, I hope today's video was interesting. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.